So before we get into the today's objective, I will just introduce myself. Then we can get into the rest of it. Right. So I'm Srikanth. I have an experience. I've been working in IT industry for past 16 plus years. So I have different experience in different roles. Like I have experience in Scrum Master. I've played role of product owner and currently working. And I also played. I was also worked as a Currently, I'm at a manager level, mentoring a few of the business analysts in my organization. So I'm a certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance and certified PMPO from Safe Agile and certified Agile Coach. So these are three certifications I hold. And coming to my education background, I'm a commerce student. I've done my MBA from Symbiosis University in India. Right. So this is about me. So I hope every one of you are currently working in some or other the industry and wanted to transform your career as a business analyst or get into IT industry, right? Okay. So before we get into that, uh, you know, before we get into the syllabus or understand what what is a roadmap of a what is the roadmap of this training program and what is the course content. Let's talk something about business analyst, right? Let's talk something about the role of a business analyst. Okay. So since you guys have decided to go with a PA or thinking over to go as a business analyst, right? So you guys have must done some homework to understand who is a business analyst, right? So what is your understanding when I ask you who is a business analyst or what is your thought process? What do you know about a business analyst role? Can someone?
So basically, BA is a person who acts as a bridge in between the stakeholder and the development team.
What is that? I mean, you broke that word.
Pardon?
No, can you repeat that?
I'm saying business analyst is a person who acts as a bridge between the
Bridge.
stakeholder and the development team.
Okay.
Yeah.
In between IT team and stakeholders, right? Anyone else? I mean, uh, anyone of you have some different understanding? Right. So a business analyst is a person or an individual who acts as a liaison in between the IT team and stakeholders. Right? That is right. But what kind of licensing we do? Right? What is that? Why actually we should bridge a gap in between the IT team and the stakeholders, right? So what is that licensing or bridging? What actually we do, right? So we understand business, right? We understand client's business and their challenging areas. Okay, we understand client's business and the challenging areas and try to provide some solution to them. Okay, so basically we understand what are the client's requirements, right, in terms of software development or in terms of upgrading their legacy systems or in terms of doing some kind of data conversion, right? So we understand what are the client's requirements, transform them into different kind of artifacts like documentation. We have separate documentation for waterfall and we have separate documentation for agile, right? So once you get the requirements from the client, we document the requirements, understand and gather the requirements, okay, document the requirements, okay, in the form of BRD or FRD or writing user stories in agile, Okay, so usually, we get, whenever we try to search for a business analyst, or whenever we get to hear as a business analyst, these are the things what we get to know, right? Whether you Google them or whether you hear from of your friends, or whatever the research you do, this is a common thing what we understand, you know, to understand more about the business analyst, right? But apart from these responsibilities, right, apart from these activities, gathering the requirements and documenting the requirements, so there are a lot of
So,
yes.
sir, does that mean a business analyst person analyzes the whole business, or it's only the IT team and the stakeholders? So I'm not
No,
understanding.
we have to analyze the business. As a business analyst, it is our responsibility to analyze the business and understand the business needs.
So then why it is written between IT team and stakeholders then?
Right, we'll come there. Okay, I will explain you.
So for
Here,
example,
IT
let's
team, here IT team means development team. Okay.
no, for example, let's take an example of there is a company called Reliance.
Hmm.
And if I'm working there as a business analyst, so is it my responsibility that their sales are not doing well, or if the HR department is not doing well, does that the business analyst look after
No,
this, or it looks only for the IT team? And
no. See, that kind of, the example what you gave is somewhat, is correct, right? Now let's say you are working with Reliance as a business analyst. Okay. So if Reliance is not making, Reliance has many branches, right? Many branches in all over the world, or maybe in India. Okay. So as a business analyst,
क्या
you
बोलती रहती है?
their business. Okay.
अरे
So let's
डैमेज
say
रहती है,
some
10 बोल
areas there is a less sales,
10
and I have
पूछूंगी ये
that
10 सवाल की पूछती मैं एग्जाम में
branch.
रहती
Let Give me 1 minute. Huh? That particular branch is not making the sales up to the mark, right? So as a business analyst, as I mentioned, you have to understand what are the challenging areas in that particular branch. Okay, why their sales are not up to the mark, or why their sales are not up to the target. Okay, that is our responsibility as a business
how
analyst.
how come it's a business analyst responsibility? Sales manager will look after the sales department, right? Why the sales are not doing good? I'm not still understanding what is the
Hmm.
role of a business
Okay,
analyst.
right. See,
Like if sales are not doing well,
salesperson,
sales
as you're
manager
saying,
is a responsibility.
sales manager's responsibility is to increase the sales, okay, or manage the sales of that particular area. But sales manager cannot go into the challenging areas and provide the solution. Okay, see, there are people, the sales people or the sales manager will only look after the sales, and they are responsible only to for the doing the sales. Okay, so as a business analyst, we have to analyze why they are not making sales, what are the challenges they are encountering in their particular life cycle of sales, then how that particular business can overcome of that particular challenges. Okay, so this is one kind of
Okay.
role of a business analyst. But there is one more, in the IT organizations, we analyze the client's business and understand what are their software requirements. Okay, now let's say in the same scenario, if Reliance is having a software, okay, now they want to upgrade that particular software to match with the market, right? There could be many competitors in the market. Okay, now Reliance is having some old technology application, some old legacy application, which is not up to the mark of market needs. Now what is the role of a business analyst here? Business analyst has to talk to Reliance, right? Reliance stakeholders. They have to understand what kind of upgrade they wanted to do in that particular application. They have to Business analyst should gather the requirements from Reliance, okay, and transform them into this kind of documentation, and explain those requirements to development team, so that development team can develop a new software which is with the new technology, with matching expectations with to the Reliance team. Okay, so there are two kinds of business analyst over here. One is IT business analyst, which I just spoke, like talking to the stakeholders and explain the development team. The other business analyst is mostly into the business kind of thing, right? why business is not good doing much, why the organization is not growing into that particular area, that kind of business analyst. Okay, see now we are targeting, our target role should be IT business analyst. Okay, our target role should be the IT organizations versus not the sales kind of thing or some domestic organizations. Okay. So did I answer your question? I'm not sure. Sandeep?
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay. Now, okay. Yeah, where I was? Yeah. So apart from understanding the requirements or apart from documenting the requirements, there are other responsibilities what a business analyst to do in a project. Okay, in the entire software development life cycle, like SDLC, business analyst will do other activities also, like tracking the requirements. Okay. Now let's say you have gathered 200 requirements. Let's assume. Now you have to track them, right? It is not like you gathered the requirements and you have explained everything to development team and dumped the requirements on them, right? Who is responsible or who is taking ownership of these 200 requirements and who is confirming that all these 200 requirements are delivered to the client? Okay, it is the responsibilities of a business analyst. Now, how do we track the requirements? Using RTM. Okay, it is requirements traceability matrix. Okay, using the requirements traceability matrix. Okay, using requirements traceability matrix, a BA has to track the requirements. Okay, now what else we do apart from tracking the requirements? Coordinating with the client. What kind of coordination we do? Okay, now if developer is having some question on a particular requirement, you also had some question on that particular requirement, you have to get the feedback from the client. Okay, you have to do defect triaging with the client. What is defect triaging? You have to discuss first level of analysis. If client is raising any defect on that particular software on a particular feature, first level of analysis as a business analyst we have to do. You have to discuss with the client, understand what is the defect, whether that is a defect or that is a new requirement. Okay, so that kind of coordination we have to do with the client. Getting sign-offs, right? Once you do this documentation, we cannot directly start the development. Okay, we have to get the sign-off from the client. We have to coordinate all those things. Okay, then what else we do? Wireframing. What is wireframing? Preparing mock-up screens. Okay, if client is if you are developing a new feature to the client, at the first-hand information, client should be aware of how the UI will look like, right? So you have to do the wireframe. We have to do the wireframe. Okay, so these are the some responsibilities of a business analyst in any project. Okay, so these are very less here. What I've written is very minimal or at a high level. But when you get into a project, you will do a lot of activities as a PA. Okay, so you'll be busy all the day in any project. As a PA, we'll be busy all the day in any project during the development period or during the testing period. Okay, any questions here? Until now, you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to know? Okay, now or let me ask you a question. Okay, so we understood now business analyst is a liaison or a bridge between IT and stakeholders. Okay, why only BA can act as a liaison? Why not developers? Why not testers? Why there is a need of a business analyst role in the IT industry? Developers can do the licensing, testing team, QA team can do the licensing. Why only business analyst should do this licensing? And why this business analyst role is very much important in that any of the projects? Okay, so business analyst is also called as face of the project. Why it is? Why is it? Why developers cannot do the requirements gathering, or why testing team cannot do the requirements gathering? Any thoughts here?
Because BA, I mean, he's the person, okay, who understands the business requirements first, and after that he delivered the requirement to the development team. Development
Okay,
team members, they are not been able to understand the business requirement in comparison of business analysts. So basically, whatever the requirement, the business requirement, they are just getting it from the stakeholder side, and after that they converted into a simple language to the developer, and they just discuss with the team. So the development team will started working on it, and they develop accordingly, whatever the business requirement it is.
okay. So Jay, why do you think developers cannot understand business requirements?
No, it does not like that. They are not being able to understand because the main thing is that they are the person who are just doing it. Okay, so they are able to understand. They are pretty much mature to understand the requirement and all those things. But the main thing is that the business requirement, whatever the requirement the stakeholder is giving to us, okay, it's in a you can say it's in a business term. Okay, and they are able to understand because most of the nowadays you can see most of the developers, they are turning to a business analyst and all those things. They understand
Hmm.
it, but in terms of bookish language, if I'm talking about, so this is the thing. I mean, the developer are not being able to understand the business requirement very easily. So for that
Hmm.
particular thing, I'm just giving the reason. That's my thoughts. Okay, might be wrong as well, but I'm
No,
just
no,
giving
no.
my thoughts.
You are right, somewhat you're right. Okay. See, the reason why a business analyst, sorry, the reason why a developers or anyone who is on the technical side cannot gather proper requirements is their thought process will always be on the solution approach. Okay, technical solution approach. Now, if there is a requirement for a client, let's just assume to develop a user registration page for a e-commerce application. Okay, if you ask a developer to go and gather the requirements, they will their thought process will always be on the technical solution. Okay, they start discussing on the technical aspects with the client. Okay, so since they have a good background of technical knowledge and technical skill set, their mind will force them to discuss on the technical things, right, which client will not understand. Okay, stakeholders or the business people cannot understand technical language, right? But a business analyst is someone whose background is coming from a non-technical area. Okay, whose background is somewhat related to the business analysis, right, or business analysis skill set, right? So that is the reason a business analyst is the most appropriate individual to gather the requirements from the client. Okay, now as you mentioned, most of the developers are transforming their career as a BA, but how many are getting success? Okay, it is not like they are transforming the career from developer or a tester to BA. It should be like they have to shift their mind. Okay, they have to shift their entire thought process to shift over from a technical solution thinker to the business thinker, right? So the success rate would be very less unless they are very much focused on transformation and develop their skill set to analyze the business things. Okay, so that is the only reason why a business analyst is the appropriate person individual to gather the requirements. Okay, now as I mentioned, BA is also called as face of the project because you are the one who lead the project. Okay, I mean, project manager, scrum master, those are different roles in the SDLC, right? When it comes to project, the business analyst is the one who leads the project. Okay, when it comes to requirements, business analyst is the one who should take the ownership of the requirements. Okay, and deliverables as well, right? So that is the reason BA is also called as a face of the project. Okay, now any questions here or anything you guys want to add? Okay, so I guess you guys must have understood, by now, uh, the roles and responsibilities of a business analyst at a high level. Okay, now let's get into the today's objective. Okay, we'll understand what is the course syllabus is all about and what I'm going to teach you in this particular training program. Okay, so this entire training program is divided into two parts. One is business analyst introduction and one is SDLC. First, we'll start with business analyst introduction. Okay, why there was a need of a business analyst role in the IT industry. Okay, what are the types of organizations we have in the IT industry? What is the hierarchy in the IT industry? Okay, see, basically these introductory sessions are the one who is transforming from the non-IT background. Okay, see, non-IT background people doesn't know how the IT industry works and what is the nature of the IT industry, right? So to make them comfort and make them to make their movement or transformation into IT industry easy. So these 1 week sessions are very much helpful. Okay, so let me see, there is a one chat. Okay, yeah, I'll come there also, Daniel. I will come there. Okay, so yeah, so in the first 1 week of the sessions, we'll understand the basics of BA, or you can say introductory sessions of a business analyst to understand IT hierarchy, roles and responsibilities, do's and don'ts, what are the best practices as a BA, and what are the types of organizations, and what are the pre-project activities, right? So even though BA is not part of pre-project activities, but we should be having that knowledge, what happens, how the project will be assigned to an organization, who all will work before to get the project to an organization. All those things we learn in the week 1. Okay, so then when we get into SDLC, again the SDLC is divided into 2 parts: waterfall and agile. Okay, so in agile, sorry, we'll start with waterfall. Okay, because see, we know current IT industry is not in waterfall, everything is in agile 99%. Okay, but waterfall is also an important methodology a business analyst should understand. Okay, because waterfall is the initial methodology, or we can say first ever methodology introduced to IT industry to take up the SDLC or to take up the software development. Okay, so it is very much important to understand waterfall methodology. If you understand the waterfall methodology, it would be easy for you to understand agile and other methodologies as well. Okay, now in waterfall methodology, what we are going to learn. Okay, so everything related to the SDLC or everything related to the software development, like identifying the stakeholders, how to manage the stakeholders. Okay, see, sometimes you get some stakeholders who show resistance in giving you information. Okay, so they'll not easily give you information, or they'll show some resistance. So how to handle those kind of stakeholders. Okay, so we'll be learning all those things in the waterfall methodology. Okay, but these are applicable for agile also, but when we start waterfall, we'll start with this. Okay, so how do you identify who is the right stakeholder? Okay, when you're working with a particular module, you have multiple people who is working, or who are multiple people who takes care of that module, but you should identify the right stakeholder. Okay, we'll be doing that using RACI matrix. Then we'll understand what type of requirements. Okay, what is functional requirement, what is non-functional requirement, how to identify non-functional requirement, what is business requirement, user requirement. All these things we'll understand. Okay, then we'll also discuss more about elicitation techniques. So elicitation techniques is nothing but the process of gathering requirements is called elicitation. Okay, and the techniques what we use to gather the requirements are called elicitation techniques. So there are multiple elicitation techniques. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, this one. Okay, so there are multiple elicitation techniques here. Okay, so these are the elicitation technique. Okay, brainstorming, interview, document analysis, but we are not going to use all the techniques at a time. Okay, or we are not going to use all the techniques uh, we should be aware of how to, which technique should be used at what point of time. Okay, you cannot use observation all the time, or you cannot use reverse engineering all the time, right? We should know which technique should be used at what point of time. Okay, methodology. And we'll also learn how to write BRD, FRD, right? Functional requirement document, business requirement document, as I mentioned, requirements traceability matrix. Okay, so during this session, it is not only theoretical part. We will also do some exercises. Okay, so let's say teach you, if I taught you racing matrix. Okay, so we'll work on some case studies on the racing matrix. Okay, it is not like okay, it is not like we are only working. Okay, I'm not getting the part. Fine. Right. It is not like we are not only working teaching you theory, but we'll also work on some practical exercises during the classes. Okay, and we'll also do some role play activities. Right. When well, example, when we are doing this illustration requirement, right? We do role play activities. You guys will play the role of a business analyst. I will play the role of a client. You guys have to gather requirements from me. Okay, we'll take small example and you guys to brainstorm yourself and requirements gathered from me. Okay, so those kind of activities also we'll be conducting during the training sessions, so that you also get some feel how the real time this thing, all the real time activities take place in a project. Okay, so when it comes to agile, okay, see again, agile has multiple methodologies. Okay, under agile we have Scrum, we have Kanban. Okay, we have multiple methodologies under XP, extreme programming, under agile. Okay, so in this training program we are going to teach, I'm going to teach you in detail of Scrum, and we'll touch base Kanban. Okay, we are not going in depth of Kanban, we'll just touch base Kanban, but in depth of Scrum we are going to, I'm going to teach you. Okay, again in Scrum we are going to learn how to write user stories, epics, okay, features, right? Everything we are going to learn. And we are also going to learn about the Scrum event, like daily stand-up meeting or product backlog refinement meeting, right? Some people do not consider backlog refinement as a Scrum event, but okay, we'll learn that as well. Planning, right? Everything we are going to learn in the Scrum methodology. Okay, and estimations. The estimations is very much important. Again, we have two techniques. One is planning poker cards and t-shirt sizing, right? So I'm going to teach you the two techniques and which one is helpful in a project, or which one will give you the appropriate estimations. We are going to learn everything. Okay, and coming to the tools, right? So we are going to learn these tools. MS Visio, Balsamic is a wireframing tool, but we are going to learn other wireframing tool. We are going to learn Jira, Power BI, and SQL. Okay, so apart from this, this time I'm also going to teach you how to leverage AI also as a business analyst. Okay, it is not like uh, how to give prompts to AI, right? If you want to write a user story, you can write on your own, but you can also make AI to write the user stories, right? You can make your life easier as a business analyst, right? So I'll also teach you some how to use the artificial intelligence. Mostly we'll concentrate on ChatGPT and DeepSeek. So we'll use these tools and I will show you how to leverage them in your day-to-day job. Okay, you can use them and make your life easy or make your job role easy. Okay, so these are the tools which we are going to cover in this particular training program. Any questions? Okay, now let me explain. Let me throw some light on, when I'm going to start the batch, or what will be the course duration, what's the fees and everything. Okay, before that, just give me 1 minute. Okay, right. So the batch would be started from July 3rd, which is the next week. Okay. Yeah, July 3rd, which is coming Thursday. Okay, and the classes would be at 8 a.m. IST. Okay, Monday to Friday. We don't have classes on Saturday, Sunday. On the weekends, I'll be conducting the revision sessions. Like we are going to revise whatever you have learned on that particular week. We are going to revise on the weekend. So we will connect 45 minutes to 1 hour on the weekend to revise. Okay. So yeah, and the course duration will be around 2 months. Okay, which includes the BA skill set, the other tools like Power BI, SQL, Jira, and Excel. Okay, AI level, how to use AI, all those projects, right? We'll also work on the project and then the training session as a team. Okay, so including everything, it will be close to 2 months, right? Uh, if someone is interested, can go to nurturing sessions. Like we work on multiple projects as a team, domain specific. We can also work on that. That is also included in the training program. No additional fees for that. Okay. And the actual fees of this particular training program is okay. So the actual fees is 18,000 INR. Okay. I will convert into USD in some just in a minute. Okay. But there is a concession of flat 3,000 and it will come up to 15,000 INR. Okay. Again, so recently I've launched my Android application. On the welcome offer, you get another 3,000 concession. The final fees would be 12,000. Okay, so this is a final fee for the entire training. Okay, if I have to convert into USD, 1 minute. So 18,000 and not to USD. It is 210 USD. Okay, so after the concession, it is 175 USD. As an introductory offer or a welcome offer, it is 140 USD. Okay, and this concession is applicable only more 3 hours to go, right? It is applicable only until tomorrow, right? So I'll just you know paste the link in the chat. And by the way, you guys can also do the pay this in installments as well. Okay, right. So I just ping the link in the chat window. If you guys can open that link, you have two options. One is buy now and buy with installments. Okay, so if you're going to buy with installments, the welcome offer is not applicable. If you guys want to pay in full time, then the welcome offer is applicable, and you can see the fees additional 3,000 discount on that particular coupon. Okay, so meanwhile you guys explore. You guys have any questions? And also let me show you one thing. So this is my web application, but you also have an Android application. Okay, so you can attend the live classes from the portal, and you can access the recordings after the class for the lifetime, everything on the portal. Okay, and you can also attempt some IIBA, right? IIBA, ECBA practical exams. Like currently it is ECBA, but I'm going to add more like CBA and CBAP mock exams as well to the portal. These are for free. You guys can attempt at any time. And you also get a lot of study material, okay, like business analyst material or how to do the requirements, and you also get some interview tips or interview, you know, cheat sheet kind of thing, okay. You also get, you know, uh, business analyst interview questions and everything, okay. And you also get daily job alerts in the application, whether it is Android app or whether it is a web application, you guys will be getting daily job alerts. So I'll be posting here the job alerts from, you know, uh, curating from the different job portals like LinkedIn, Naukri, or multiple job portals. We have a separate team for placement activities. So they'll be posting daily job alerts in the application, right? And each and every day when we complete the class, you'll be having a quiz, right? I'll upload a quiz on that particular topic, whatever we have, whatever I have taught you on that particular day, we'll be having a quiz on that particular day. Again, you can attempt it on the portal and Android app application. And these are some solved, you know, business case studies, business analyst case studies. You can review them whenever you find some time. Okay. So any questions on the training program or any questions, anything you guys want to know?
Sir, do I need to have business analyst a work experience to learn Agile Scrum?
No, not required.
So
So
after the training, what will be my job profile?
your job would be as a business analyst, right? Will help you in identifying the right placement. We'll help you in preparing your resume, and our placement wing will help you in preparing your interview. We'll take your mock interviews as well. Okay.
So, sir, you are based in US or India? Where are you based?
So I'm in India.
So, you will help in US as well?
So in US, I can refer you a consultancy. So I give
Mhm.
training to that consultancy, like BA trainings. I can refer you them.
Okay, and hi, my name is Tuba. I'm here from Canada, Toronto. So my question here is that you're gonna build up my resume with what, Canadian experience, or what, like how are you gonna build up my resume? Because um I have no experience in IT or any kind of computers.
Okay, so if you don't have any experience earlier, so we'll build you as a resume as a fresher. Okay, we'll build you as a
As a
resume
fresher.
like you are fresher or some internship kind of projects.
Internship kind of project, and like
Yeah,
what are the chances that I will get the job after the training program, like how, and what's the
see,
probability of it?
yeah, I will be frank with you. So I do not want to, beat around the bushes, right? See, for an experienced individual, it will take 2 to 3 months to get onto the job role. Okay, so if you're going as a fresher,
Okay.
it would take 1 month addition,
Mm-hmm.
right? It would take like 4 to 5 months of time to get into the job market as a
After the
fresher.
training.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Just
after the
like
training,
100%
meanwhile, in
placement.
these 4 5 months, like, am I gonna work for you as an intern to have some experience or anything like that,
Yes,
or I'm just sitting home
that is right.
and doing nothing?
I'll give you the projects. You should work on them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll connect on the over weekend or whenever you find some time. We'll discuss on that particular project.
Okay, and
Are
if
we
I go
going
on, yeah, go ahead, please.
are we going to work on any projects?
Yes, that is what I mentioned, right? So at the end of the training program, we'll be working on a project as a team. Okay, it is not like you alone working on the project. We'll work as a team, do the project together.
So back to my question, do you have any self-paced
Okay,
course on BA?
anything else?
This is Daniel.
Yeah, hi Daniel. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
so do you
Daniel.
have any self-paced course on BA that is more current?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I do have a self-learning course. You can ping me on WhatsApp. I'll guide you how to get that.
Okay, how do I don't have your contact. So is that something you can provide in the chat?
So this is my
Yes.
contact number.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
So the Indian
Yeah,
time
I'll
will be
put it in
like
the chat.
8 a.m. from the morning.
Correct. 8 a.m. morning in the Indian time. Okay, it would be around
So like
10:30 here.
so like we all are, I'm supposing, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, I think we all are working, right? We are all full-time working individuals right now.
Correct.
And if we are at work, because 8 a.m. in the morning is 10, maybe I think it's around 10:30 in the
So
at night in Canada.
yeah, in EST it is 10:30 p.m.
Okay, and then how long is the class?
Daily 1 hour.
Daily 1 hour, so 10:30 to 11:30.
Correct.
Okay,
11:30. Yeah.
okay, sounds good.
So it's like 100% placement program, or is just like
The
it depends on a
placement,
student?
correct. See, placements, I will keep you referring the whatever the placements I get daily. Okay, it is again up to the recruiters to recruit you or not, right? So we'll put 100% effort in getting placed you on that particular job role. You understand that, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So even without like IT degree or any IT experience, we will be able to learn this and work on like
Yes.
working industry.
Yes, I think you missed my, introduction. I'm from a commerce background. I don't have any IT background. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we without an IT background or even without an IT knowledge, you can get into the role of a BA. That is not a problem. Okay. So
Okay.
the level of knowledge, what you need as a business analyst, and what is the skill set you need as a business analyst, is my responsibility, to provide that skill set.
Your name, sir? I'm sorry.
My name is Srikant.
Shrikant. Okay. So Shrikant, this is your personal number. Like if I have any questions or if anything, I can leave you a
Yes.
text. I'm sorry, I will
Yes.
not bother you. I won't be calling you or, bombarding you with the messages, but I want to just keep this
No,
contact number with me.
no problem. Yeah, we can connect.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah. Yes, Sandeep.
sir. My work experience is into IT field. So after these 2 months of business analyst training, what kind of business analyst I am going to be?
Which field?
Uh,
Which
I
field?
am working as a tech support.
Okay, then you can get into IT industry only. The software development side only. See, I have to understand your experience thoroughly. Then I will be able to guide you how to transform your resume or how to tweak your resume, how to take your
Okay.
experience.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we can talk tomorrow, like tomorrow Sunday. Okay, so I hope you guys have made a note of this link. Again, I'll just message you or WhatsApp as well with the link. Right.
Actually, I
So
missed the introduction part because I joined a little bit later on. So can you please summarize a little about?
I will give you the recording.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Raksha, I'll give you the recording because
Okay,
in 10
sure.
minutes I have one more demo on the data analyst side, so I have to jump over there.
Shrikant, you just said that it's going to be 145 Canadian dollars, USD, if I join
USD.
now, right?
Correct.
But right now, if I
Right.
go to your link, it is not telling me, even if in USD, I see it's giving me 180 USD, which is actually 240 Canadian.
So
Yeah, it's
so there
180
is a
USD right now.
yeah. So there is a coupon code. Fine, I can connect with you over WhatsApp. You can ping me on this number. We'll connect.
Okay, and yeah, so because I want to buy it right now, so yeah, after the session, I'll ping you there.
Yeah, I'll ping. Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So, and Daniel, I will also ping you over WhatsApp. I will let you know about the self-learning course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks everyone. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
Thank you.